Good morning, traders. Manny Cabrera here, co-founder of MDC Trading Academy, with today's pre-market forecast for the E-mini S&P 500 for today, Wednesday, December the 16th. We're also going to do our midweek review. Quickly to our news items for this morning. Remember, we talked about a very light week, Monday and Tuesday, but we're going to get very heavy in reference to news report that may impact us during our trading session. We have retail sales, very important, manufacturing information, and of course at 2 p.m. we start receiving information from the FOMC. Really important. We're not expecting any changes whatsoever, but based on the obviously the inevitable conclusion of the election, I think now about the focus on the Fed is going to be interesting, based on the policies that may or may not be implemented from Washington. So we have to see what happens at the news conference at 2:30. Really important news items coming out from there. And of course, we close the week out with more manufacturing information. So manufacturing information, more manufacturing. And of course, we're going to the CB leading index indicators. Let's jump to our analysis. Let's jump to our daily market. An absolutely very surprising market as it continues to move higher and higher as we progress through this. Market is average a little lower. Our volume has lowered a little bit to below 1 million. Our ATR is still strong at 50, but the market's been a little choppy. The moves have been pretty much steady to a particular direction, but a bit choppy in reference to deeper pullbacks and so forth. That's where you need to be careful. You need to make sure that you start measuring. Use your Fibonacci's. Use your fibs, measure your runs, and estimate more or less. Find out what your high probability areas are, and try to find some confluence with some fibs. That should help you. I'll give you a couple of examples of that as we move forward. But the market is trying once again to retest all-time highs. 20 SMA is acting, obviously developing its role as our clear support winner. Let's jump into one of our analysis chart here, and we can see exactly what it is that I am referring to. We go here, for example. Look at this huge drop. This was all news-based right now, as a matter of fact. This was the 8:30 news. Look how the market just drops, but it drops to a very interesting area, which is our intraday high. Here's where we find ourselves right now: intraday low, intraday high. We're above the intraday high. We're expecting potentially more continuation to the upside. This to me is our north-south line here, just trend line here to the upside. Anything that happens above this line here, we're expecting more continuation. Any kind of support in this line, we're expecting this whole support, and we'll expect some movements to the upside. What we have here is obviously a very clear compressing triangle, as you see, ascending triangle. Here's our support, here's our resistance. So we're going to see what happens with this news. Is this news going to propel the market, or is this just an initial flash movement? So think about this area here, right along this area here, right along where we find this trend line. Any break below this trend line, remember, we have a lot of support way down here. But before we get there, remember, big support area is the intraday low, high from yesterday, and this trend line. We're expecting the market to hold support, potentially try to move higher. Any break below this, obviously, we do have a very clear target. And let's do a quick fib. So we measure from the intraday low to this intraday high. You notice the market only retraced a 23%. This is only a 23% retracement, as opposed to this run here, which began here to this high here. And as you can see, this was a 61% retracement to a particular area. So the retracements are getting deeper. But when you're talking about entries, for example, let's say that you're looking at this particular run here and this retracement here. So the best thing to do is to try to measure your retracements. Measure your retracements. Here's the area. Here's a good spot. This golden area here is a good spot to look for some entries. So that's what I'm referring to in reference, because of the deeper retracements. Have a great trading session. Please let me know if you have any questions. Take care.